Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my National Podcast. What is going on, everybody? Oh, it's another Sunday. Your boy Michael is back. Say what's up to the peoples.
What's up, everybody? I had a great time last time. Thanks for having me back.
He had to come back.
Had to.
I mean, we're going to be doing another thread and getting his psychoanalysis on some situations and all that good stuff that you guys have seen on Patreon. I know I asked you guys for some more scenarios and all that kind of stuff. A couple of you were actually excited to have him come back and, liked what he had to say, all that good stuff. So we got him back. Hopefully he'll be back every Sunday, and we can do this every single Sunday.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our thread. We got an interesting thread. We did a vote a bit on a thread. This one decided to win. So this one is, guys, what's something girls do that give you the ick? All right. So we got our first one. Guys, what's something girls do that give you the ick? Too much social media. Dated a girl where everything had to be a post. Couldn't live in the moment when we were just taking pictures and posting the whole time. Dude, that is annoying. When you can't eat your food because there has to be a picture taken of it in order to put it on the Instagram first. That is annoying.
Yeah,
that is super annoying.
They have that phrase of Instagram ate first or something like that, where you post it before you eat, and
I've
it's
never heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and
Instagram ate first.
That for me is just dude, it's not that serious. What goal do you have where you're I need to post this food before I actually eat and enjoy it? Plus, with the person in front of you, he's saying, can't live in the moment. Everything's a quiet on the set. Let's redo this type of deal, come on now.
Are you making fun of me? I said quiet on the set before the show started.
No,
Are you making fun of me now? Oh,
no, definitely not.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm going home. You can host this yourself.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. All right, guys. What's something girls do that gives you the ick? I went on a date with a girl and she wanted to go to a trivia night at a bar. Sounds like fun. She kept cheating, looking it up on Google. Why go if you're just gonna go to cheat? Really bothered me. That just goes to show you she ain't got no integrity in the game, man.
Yeah.
Let's lose and have a good time.
Right.
If we're stupid, let's be stupid together. Who are you trying to be smart for?
Yeah, honestly.
I think I would much more have respect for a girl who we went to the trivia night and we both sucked absolute ass, but we had fun versus her trying to impress me with her Googling skills. It's come on, man. Come on. That's just no fun.
Yeah, that's what's getting me, there's got to be a goal other than just winning, because at the end of the day, she Googled it. I don't know if it's for money or if it's for a prize or something, but what's the point in cheating if it's literally just to have fun,
Yeah.
Then at that point you can't have fun without cheating. What are you doing, And that's definitely something I would break it off for.
Yeah, I'm just come on, man. We're here to have fun.
Yep.
It's not about winning. Now I get it. Now if there's money involved, sure, I guess, whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, I rather us lose together and have a good time.
Yep.
I think that would be more funny of a story in the long run to tell our friends and family of our first date. It's oh yeah, we went to this trivia thing. We sucked absolute ass. It was so great. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? That I think would be a better story than oh yeah, we went to this thing. We Googled everything. And we fucking beat everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. All right, guys, what's something girls do that give you the ick? Being super casual about cheating in the past relationships, although I assume that goes both ways. Also being perpetually on their phone. Now, that I think is diabolical sometimes. It goes both ways on this one, I ain't gonna lie. it's diabolical to me to sit there on a date with somebody and it's just like, oh, well, what happened between that last relationship somehow in your ex or your last relationship? It just shows up naturally in conversation. And they're like, oh, well, I cheated on them, and it's one of those things where it is what it is, and I moved on from it, so like I'm good. And you're just like,
hey yo, what the fuck?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait. You did what? And you got over it like it was no big deal? Like,
bruh.
Nah. There's no way you can just casually throw that out there and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I get where maybe from the idea of like, it's something that can't be changed and it doesn't define you, right? But it depends on how you go about it. If it's like, I learned my lesson, that's not something I'm doing ever again, then that's fine. But if you're over here just like, yeah, it is what it is, dude, maybe I'll cheat, maybe I won't, then you're at that point, you're like, okay, you definitely have some growing up to do. And, hey, I'd rather you say some shit like that in the beginning and now I know and I can be like, yeah, never mind, versus like you don't bring some shit up like that and then you're like, yeah, well, before I just kind of cheated all the time,
Yeah.
and then now I'm just, it was what it was and I'll just move on again,
Yeah. My thing is just how they can casually
True.
say it. Like,
True.
If you can just casually throw out like, oh yeah, I just cheated on them. Like it's no big deal though. I'm over it. It is what you're just like. Whoa, hold up a minute.
Yeah.
You did what?
Especially with the whole perpetually on her phone type deal,
Oh, yeah.
like if you're
Oh, yeah.
you casually admit that and then you're just on your phone all the time, like, all right, yeah, you're not to be taken serious.
Nah, because it's one of those things where it's like I'm taking you to dinner, and then right after this, Josh is taking you to Pound Town. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
bro.
facts.
You know what I mean? Like, you setting up something else on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
There's no way. And again, this is not just women that do this. It's guys that
Absolutely.
do this as well. Obviously, it is a little like majority women that do this, but there are men that do it, and I just think it's one of those things where it's just so diabolical. Like, dude, you don't fear consequence at that
right,
point.
right.
Like,
Definitely.
you just don't fear it at all, and that to me is absolutely insane.
Insane.
Like, dude, I get wanting to be honest too.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
not just look at the bad side of
Right.
it. I get wanting to be honest. Like, hey, in my last relationship, I cheated on them. I am kind of like taking a responsibility for it and like taking an omission to that. So I do understand that as well. Like you said, I rather them kind of like, spill the beans early on.
Right.
And I'm chilling. I know the type of person that you are. So I kind of understand that part. But I think majority of people that do this, they're kind of on the side of like, oh yeah, I cheated on them, and hey, who cares?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. Guys, what's something girls do that give you the ick? Trash talking or putting down their close friends behind their back, then pretending to be all lovey-dovey besties with them in person.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, those people are insane.
Yeah.
Those people, I'm the type of person that I will not say anything about you to other people unless I would say it to your face.
Right.
Like, I am just that type of person. If I'm saying some crazy shit about you, then yeah, it's some shit I would most likely say it to your face. But those people that sit around and they are just like you're talking and then they want to just like oh yeah, so-and-so, that to me, I'm just like, man, you fake as fuck. There's a lot of people at my job that do that shit.
Yeah, I could talk for probably about hours on this fucking topic itself, just because I have so much experience with the idea of like just talking shit behind people's back. And I forget exactly where I heard it from, but the idea is essentially if they do it with you, they do it to you behind your back,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
the whole thing where it's like, okay, yeah, she tells me all her problems. Well, you're also one of the problems that she talks about with someone else. And the same thing with like the whole gossip, talking shit, especially close friends, right? Like that really brings into question who she feels is a person that she's close with and how she actually views them. Because if they're close friends where she still tears them down instead of talking to them, or even like saying like these are things that like I just wish I knew how to address with them, it just really shows that she has like a very skewed idea of what a close friend would entail, like being a close friend and also having a close friend as your friend, you know. So for me, it's definitely that's like an ick and a red flag as a person, you know, because men will do it too, and that shit's even more out of character for men than I would say.
Yeah, because you know, with men, like a attribute of like masculinity is loyalty.
Yes,
that's why they have the saying. Oh man, it's escaping me right now. But they say, you know, you're a man of your word. Word is bond.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's why we have these sayings, is because a token of masculinity is loyalty. Like if you can't sit there and be loyal to your friends and have their back regardless, dude, you're a piece of shit.
Right.
Like, that's just what it comes down to. It's like, I don't care what people say about him. I would never go against him. I'd be like, nah, I don't care what you think. I don't care how you view him. I don't care how you see him. Like, I've known him for as long as I've known him. I don't give a shit. I would never turn on my friends just because somebody else, or I would never say anything that I wouldn't say to his face.
Right.
Where it's just like, even if it was something harsh, it's like, yeah, I'm saying this to you because why? I've already said it to his face.
Right.
He already knows. He already knows that I've said this. But motherfuckers that sit there and they're just like, so-and-so and this and that. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah. If you're not, because at work, they do this all the time. All the time they want to like, we'll be talking about a situation, or we're talking about somebody because they did something or whatever, you know, because the big drama at my work is people calling off of work and all this kind of stuff. Me,
right.
I don't personally care. I just don't give a shit. I go there, do my 8, and I go home. But what a lot of people do is, you know, when we're having conversations about another person, they'll like lower their voice and they're like, oh, I'm like, nigga, what should know? I don't give a fuck if they're right behind me.
Right.
I don't care if they're standing in the circle that we're talking in. Like, it's some shit that I would say to them, because a lot of times, like, we have a guy, all right, at the office. This motherfucker can't stand this dude. He worked 8 months out of the 12 last year, and all that time that he was out, you know, he claimed to be in the hospital, or that, you know, it was like the eighth person that's died in his family. And I'm sure you listeners have a coworker that's like that.
Right.
Where they always have somebody dying. They're always sick. They're always leaving early. They're always calling out. And you're just like, how the fuck does this nigga have a job? What the
That's
hell,
facts.
man?
That's facts.
Yeah, you're just like, how the fuck do you have a job? And it makes no sense to me. I'm like dumbfounded how this motherfucker still is working. And it's one of those things where it's like, when we talk about him, people are like always trying to, oh no, why are you speaking so loud? I'm like, hell nah. This nigga knows what he does.
Yeah.
He knows that he doesn't come to work. He knows that he doesn't do this shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys. I'll say this shit to his face, and I have multiple times. And he can't say nothing about it because he knows the truth. I sit there and be like, bro, you can't say nothing. It's the truth. Like, and he's a taller guy, so I always use the analogy of like, if you called me short, I can't be mad because I'm short.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. You know?
Well, you're not short, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Shorter to him. Yeah.
Because, you know, he's like 6'1" or 6'2" or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm just like, dude, if you tried to insult me and you called me short, I couldn't sit there and be mad at it.
Right.
I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah, I am. But you a lazy bum that doesn't want to show up to fucking work.
Yeah.
So we both speaking the truth here. You can't get mad at that. You know what I mean? That's just...
And that's like one of the things too, where like you said, you know, I had this dude when I was working my old job, and I'm not gonna go into like great detail, but however, we all I think it's very collective as a country that we don't like stolen valor incidents, right? And so I had this dude in my office that was claiming to be special forces of all things, right?
Wow.
And it's funny how you would say he's special forces of the exact branch that I've been in. And he would think that like I would just not know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course he couldn't give me any details, right? Because, and that's one thing, you as viewers, right? If someone comes to you and they say, I can't tell you it's classified, they're more than likely bullshitting, okay? Because if they can't tell you, they're not going to say it's classified. They're going to find some way around the topic where it's like, oh, you know, generically I do X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be, you know?
Okay.
Because saying I know something that's classified is going to just highlight you as a person, right? You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know like what the ordeal is, right? So you wouldn't just come out and say that, right? Anyone that's saying some shit like that is more than likely just fucking bullshitting and lying to your face.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a type of person that has a clearance of classified information, you're not even supposed to say that it's classified.
Right.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to say, like, to a civilian anyway, that, oh, what I do is classified. Like,
right.
You can't even say that.
Yeah. Most people wouldn't say that, right? Yeah. Like, okay. I mean, it's very common for military members to have like top secret clearance, right? And that's fine. Mm-hmm. But as to say like what information or like what type of stuff you handle or anything like that, or the places that you go, right? Once the missions are already passed and stuff like that, most of the time you know what information's allowed and what's not. So you wouldn't just say like, oh wow, that's classified. Yeah. However, like with this gentleman at the office, he would say stuff like that, and that just like it irritated me, you know. I started to see like holes in his plot, and a lot of the other people in the office were like, oh, like, yeah, you should really talk to this guy because he would know what you're going through with the struggles of like coming up in this business and understanding like the transference from military to this. And I was like, I honestly don't believe that he was in the Marine Corps, right? I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years, so I could pretty much tell you when someone's telling the truth or not, you know. And he knew enough to get by, and that's where like my suspicion started to die. However, we had multiple other Marines come in and out of the space as well, and so one way or another, I had another friend look him up, and they found out he had no military record, right? Ooh. And so I called him out on it. Of course, I'm not. Yeah. He knew we had that kind of beef where I was like, I have this suspicion, and I don't like you, but I also can't prove it, so I'm not gonna like throw a big stink over it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then so from there, once I found out, called him out at every second because he would constantly lie, constantly put me down for not, because I was open about it. I was like, I wanted to go Special Forces, you know, like him. And, you know, I never went for it because I had a family. And I heard about the actual people that would, you know, either end up in a barrel or they would end up with their family, you know, someone calling them from their wife's phone. And they're like, yeah, dude, like, you don't got a choice. Like, I got your kids here, you know. Yeah. And for me, right, I was like, that's not something I'm willing to put on the line, you know. I have a family for a reason, and for me, that's not something that I would give up to do the Special Forces thing, you know. Okay. And so from there, eventually, you know, he did get fired, and that was on him. But like I say, you know, I try to make it pretty open and honest and transparent how I am. And if, like you said, if I have anything to say to you, I'm gonna say it to you, around you, and I don't give a fuck if you hear, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. All right, let's get on to the next one. Guys, what's something that girls do that gives you the ick? Bragging about how much attention from men they get. Oh, Jesus Christ. I went on a date with a girl recently who bragged about how many guys are texting her, how her coworkers are constantly asking her out. I just told her I enjoy our coffee, but I won't be seeing her again because of it. She told me that she exaggerated and those things don't really happen. Well, guess what? Lying on a first date for no reason doesn't make it better. Facts. Women get this idea that if they have a bunch of dudes talking to them, that we think that that's something like that'll make them more attractive to us. No. Guys rather, honestly, the most successful and richest dudes, they rather have a girl who is an absolute nobody than a girl that is all over the internet.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
No guy wants a girl who is all over the internet doing all this and all that, or she's popular with the guys, or she has all this attention, stuff like that. We look at that as extremely unattractive. Yep. That is super unattractive, bro. You know, and I would argue it's the other way around. That women and are attracted to men that can attract other women. The reason being is because women have this thing called social proof. They like it when they see you with other women, or other women are comfortable around you. They look at it like, oh, okay, if other women are comfortable around him, then that means that he is a guy who has his shit together. He's not weird. He knows how to talk to women. He knows how to pretty much just like not really spit game or anything like that, but he's that type of guy that can talk to women and not be a weirdo. He's not, I'm trying to look for the right word, but it's escaping me, of course. But it's just social proof. That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
And to prove this, because a lot of women sit there and they're like, no, that's not true. Da, da, da. Okay, well, when you are interested in a guy, a lot of times, what do girls do? They'll go to the bathroom. What they'll talk to their friends about it. Or after a first date, who do they go to the first time? They'll talk to their friends. Oh, I was with this guy and he did he did this and that, blah blah. Oh, and they'll try to get their girlfriends to kind of gauge or give them advice on, if this was weird or not, or if this was, a good thing or not. Like, girls need that social proof of other people or other women to kind of gauge if this dude is worth, messing with or talking to and stuff like that. And so that's why I look at it like it's the other way around, where, with girls, if they have a bunch of attention from guys, we're like, no thanks. But if it's a dude that has a bunch of attention of girls look at it like, oh, you know what? Oh, I'll give this guy a shot because he's not weird. He's not this. Girls feel comfortable around him. I don't know. What do you think?
No, that's absolutely correct. I would say, it just looked like for whatever reason she wanted to have that idea of like, I'm this prize. There's competition for me, stuff like that. And then when she realized it wasn't working, you weren't going into that pool, she tried to find another way around it by saying, oh, well, like, it was just a joke. I kind of exaggerated just a little bit, just to see where you were at. And it's like, all right, well, either way, right? You either had too much attention or you fucking lied. So, like, of course, like, you know what I mean? And then, like you're saying, where successful dudes have, like, not necessarily, like, their pick of women, right? But, like, the idea of, like, that social proof, they talk about it in sales as well, where, no one wants to be the first person to try something new, because if it goes bad, you'll feel even worse for trying a new experience, because new experiences are already uncomfortable by themselves. Yeah. And then being the only one to try it and it not working out sounds just absolutely awful. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas men we go for those kind of risks in general just to find new, like, frontiers, I guess. But for women, they're, I would say, a lot less likely to try some shit like that. Oh. And so getting, like you said, they go on a date and then immediately you end up in the group chat and they're like, he looks like this. He went to this school. He talks to this amount of people, Mm-hmm. They're looking for that social proof. They're looking for that approval from the group chat and from the surroundings to see, is this man actually going to be worth my time? Is he worth something? Like, what's this guy really about, right? Where, you see a preview for a movie, you're like, I'm not watching that, or you are watching it, Yeah. Or where someone's like, you know what, like, with the preview didn't look as good, but I think they were trying to say this, and then that makes you open your mind.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Social proof is like watching a preview of a movie before you decide to watch it or not.
Yeah.
And social proof is a woman's way of getting a preview of a guy, whether she's going to date him or not. That is a good analogy.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Write that down. And that group chat is their Rotten Tomatoes or like whatever those other shit. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Their IMDb.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. Damn. All right. Guys, what's something that girls do that gives you the ick? All right, expect you to be a mind reader. If something is bothering you, say it. We're not kids in high school. Also, when they think drinking is a hobby, know you're an alcoholic. Bruh, yeah. I've gone on dates with girls that I would, when you look at them, you would think, oh yeah, they're like very well-headed individuals. And I'm the type of guy that I don't do the bar as a first date. If you're a guy out there and you do a bar as the first date, you're retarded. All right? You're fucking retarded. Stop taking girls to bars and actually take them to go do something fun. Now, there was a time that I took a girl out, right? And it was our first date, and I wanted it to be something fun. So I took her to go-karting. And it was great. We got there. I had set us up with our little things. I gave her, you get like a little mask or whatever. And then you get a little ticket. And the ticket will kind of let you know when it's your turn to get into the carts and stuff. And so, we do our little first round. We get 2 races. So we finish up doing our first race. And, I was like, dude, that was so much fun, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, oh, I need a drink. And I'm like thinking to myself, what? Like, okay, you want some waters? You want some juice? That's what I'm thinking to drink. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll go get some water. And she's just like, no. Like, I want an alcoholic drink. And I'm like, they don't serve alcohol here. And she's like, well, then why did you take me here? And I'm like, what? Mind you, 25-year-old woman, mind you.
Jesus.
Over here talking about, why did you take me here? Because there's no alcoholic drinks. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's no alcohol because you're behind the wheel of a go-kart.
Yeah.
The fuck? They're not going to let you get drunk and then get behind the wheel of a go-kart. They're not going to let you do that. And so she was like, oh, well, can we, like, go to a bar afterwards? I'm like, no. No, we're not. And then she proceeded to get all upset and this and that. So we didn't end up doing our second race. She wanted to get taken home. Oh, because she didn't want to drink. And I'm like, that is not you being a casual drinker. That is you being a fucking alcoholic. The fact that you got upset and you wanted to end the date because you couldn't have an alcoholic drink, crazy work to me. Hey, I'm just telling you, I've dealt with it firsthand. And that shit is ridiculous.
So, I mean, that's an interesting point. I'd have to, almost like tap out on this one because I don't have too many experiences with alcoholic women. I also myself was an alcoholic, so being in the Marine Corps, I'm not gonna go into great detail, but obviously alcohol was a big part of my life, even since before I was of age. So for me, I get the idea of like drinking as a hobby for sure. I no longer partake in that kind of stuff because my focuses are elsewhere. Money wise, mental wise, all that type of stuff. So like now I can kind of understand because for me, I used to have alcohol to have fun or to do anything. But for, after growing, in like the mental health space and, doing what I had to do to like work on myself, I kind of was like, life is actually pretty great by itself, if like now I understand where it's like if you need to have alcohol in your system for fun, confidence, relaxation, whatever the case may be, just because you're also used to the routine of drinking, you're hiding something else, and you got to figure out what that other part is that you're trying to get rid of, because whether it's boredom, stagnation, lack of dealing with emotional trauma, or just emotions that you don't like, whatever the case may be, that's just something you got to really get into. So I definitely get where you're coming from because, it's embarrassing, right? Like, especially if you're someone that doesn't partake heavily, to go out and then like your girl is just fucking sloshed all over the place, can't stand, can't walk. And that's definitely, that's a bad look on you as a man because you're going out and entertaining this, babysitting another grown adult. And then 2, who knows what she's going to get into when you're not around, because she's always going to need someone to look after her because she's constantly drinking, constantly needing some type of alcoholic refinement before she goes anywhere. So it's just, like I said, for me, I don't know too much. I can't speak too much on it because I just recently stopped alcohol, and I used to think heavily into the idea of like, I needed alcohol before pretty much fucking everything. Like the moment I stepped out of bed and stuff.
I dealt with the same thing. Is that when I used to do music and travel, or in my early 20s, that I had a real bad. I remember there was a time I went over to his house for a party, and he was like, "Oh, Ricky, you want to drink?" And I was like, "Nah, dude, I can't have alcohol. I'm a recovering addict."
Yeah.
And I remember saying that to him, and he was like, "Oh shit." He was like, "Dude, for real? How the hell that happened?" And it's because that's what it was. Is when you are in certain, lifestyles, whether it be the military or if you're kind of living the rock star life, if you will, you do fall down that rabbit hole. And that was something. It's funny because on one of my live streams, somebody was in the chat and they were talking about like, "Oh, dude, are you like drunk or are you high? Because like you're funnier than usual." And I'm like, "No, I'm 100% sober." Like I think if you need to drink in order to be a personality, or if you need to be under the influence of something in order to actually be entertaining, then no, that's not how you should be. That you should be sober. You should be able to be sober and be whatever it is that you are trying to be, whether it's an entertainer, whether it's this or that. And so, yeah, man, it's one of those things where it does become a problem really quick. Really fucking.
And that's one of those things too. Just a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I need alcohol to do X, Y, and Z," and it's like you have that in you. Alcohol just in a way lets you be that, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is not that alcohol is a tool for something. It's within you already. You just have to work at bringing that out sober. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to use like a shortcut to the idea, but you're also fucking with your mental health and your physical health as well. So it's like if you do it sober, you'll be a lot happier and it'll be a lot more natural while you're sober versus always relying on this outside influence to get you to be you. You know what I mean?
I feel it. All right, let's get on to the last one of our thread. So we have, guys, what's something about girls that give you the ick? Do you know what really makes me upset? When I have a problem and tell her and she somehow turns it around on me.
Jesus.
Oh, basically, if I do something to upset her, it's my fault. If she does something to upset me, it's my fault. Fucking ridiculous. I also hate the constant need for validation / attention. It's fucking annoying and it's dangerous to a relationship. Bruh. Woo! And that one, I think, is what gets guys all the time, man. Especially, and this one is long-term relationship. This ain't no, like, first date. You just met her. You guys have only been talking a couple months. Nah, you've been in a relationship for years. You've been in a relationship. And trust me, we are two guys that know. We've been in the trenches, my guy. All right? We're lucky to be able to get off that battlefield fucking alive,
right?
With all 4 limbs, man, or with all 5 limbs, if I should say. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where I can't stand when a woman just cannot take accountability, and we know that. We've seen it online and through different situations, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks when a woman cannot take accountability. And it's one of those things where it's just like you have to be able to just hold her accountable for everything from the beginning of the relationship. What a lot of guys do is they won't hold her accountable in the beginning of the relationship because they don't want to lose her, or they don't want to start a fight or this and that. Nah, man, you got to do it in the beginning of the relationship. And that's something I learned. It was one of those things where like I was so blind to a lot of things that she wasn't being held accountable to. For whatever reason, I didn't call her out on it. So then later on in the relationship, when I did, she's all like, "What? Huh?" All gobsmacked for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's just like, So that's something that I've noticed, is that you have to hold them accountable from the beginning of the relationship. Keep that shit congruent. Because if you just let it go, she's just going to be like, "Okay, cool, he doesn't care. He's just going to let me go and do whatever the fuck I want, and it doesn't matter." So,
yep.
Yeah.
And that's the point I was going to get to, where you're talking about like, oh, if I have a problem and bring it up, it's my fault, and if she has a problem and I bring it up, it's also my fault. That's correct. It is your fault, brother. Like I said last episode, it begins and ends with the man. And like Aaron's saying, if she feels like she's not used to accountability, it means you haven't been holding her accountable enough during your relationship. So, I mean, like you said, you know, you deal with it where before you kind of let things go. You let it be like, oh, I don't want to upset her. I don't want to make things mad. I don't want to make things awkward, right? I don't want to ruin the day, as they would say, or I don't want to bring the mood down, as they would say, stuff like that. And then you're like, you know, later on when you start actually trying to have those moments of accountability, she's like, oh, whatever, shut that. Like, you know, she's disrespecting you in your face, or she's not taking it serious, or she's blindsided because it's weird now. And it's like, that's exactly what it is your fault. From the beginning, if you start setting that standard of like, I don't tolerate X, Y, and Z, and if you're going to be that person, you don't need to be here.
Exactly.
And that in itself is holding her accountable. She knows, like, she either will understand she can get away with X, Y, and Z, or she won't be able to get away with X, Y, and Z. And if she knows she can't get away with X, Y, and Z, she's not going to have these issues of like, oh, well, it's your fault, or like, you know, whatever the case may be, avoiding accountability because she knows she can't get away with it. Now, if she continues to try to do that, then it's on you to set that boundary of like, all right, then we won't see each other. And then she'll act a certain way depending on that. And if she leaves, good. Why are you trying to stay with that fucking scenario? You know what I mean? There will be someone else that will take accountability and do better. So like, you don't need to stay there. No one's forcing you. It's a choice. So it is, in a way, your fault.
100%. Well, that's going to be the end of that thread. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. Thank you for coming to the misogyny hour. Oh, I'm joking. But yes, if you guys out there have had a situation with a woman that gave you the ick, definitely put it down in the comments. Ladies, don't be afraid to put anything that a guy is giving you the ick about in the comments. You can get back at us. You can even say, oh, my ick with men, they go on podcasts and talk about women. You can even say that if you want to, all right? Your comments are welcome. But yeah, we're going to hop through announcements and we're going to get right on into you guys' scenarios for today. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show like these lovely people did for today. All right, audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. I know we just got done with Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff, so I know that it's good. It's glad to have you guys back. I know you guys were dealing with a lot and all that kind of junk, so it's good to have you guys back. It's good to have you guys, you know, coming in off the holidays. Hope you guys had a great holiday. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. Hope you guys had a good New Year's and all that jazz. So, if you guys want to help out even more, go ahead and rate us 5 stars on your preferred listening platform, as well as rating us or following us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All that is free, and it helps the show out a lot. Help you boys out. We hungry. All right, let's get into our first scenario. This one is, am I overreacting for confronting my girlfriend about her alone time? Okay. I, male 37, and am in a relationship with my girlfriend, 35 female. We've been together for 3 years, and things have been going great for the most part. We've been living together for a year now, and I planned on proposing to her on New Year's Eve. Something we had talked about and been planning together for a while. We have a shared Google Calendar, and it's helped us coordinate dates. That's kind of actually smart. Recently, she's been blocking off 2-hour slots that we used to utilize for often weekly dates or something together. Like sexy time, goddamn. She would title it alone time. She has lots of hobbies, including painting, knitting, drawing, etc. She's an artsy girl, and I love talking about her hobbies with her. She's always extremely glad to share, and it's something we typically bond over. This is relevant for later. I've been pretty good about leaving her alone and giving her time to herself, but she doesn't seem to be stopping this anytime soon. We haven't been on a proper date in almost 4 months now, and I miss her. It doesn't make me feel any different about the relationship or her at all. She's a wonderful woman, and I want to marry her, but I miss that aspect of our relationship. Last week, I finally asked her about her alone time and if she would be willing to do that another time and go on our first date in months. Instead, she snapped and called me controlling for telling her to not have alone time. I did not do this at all. I indirectly brought it up again to her today, asking her if she's made any new drawings or paintings in her alone time recently. I figured it would have been a nice conversation about what she's been working on lately, because she usually shows me when she's done. Again, she yelled at me and told me not to bring up her alone time or ask about her hobbies. This troubled me, and it regrettably escalated into a shouting match. I responded to her by asking why she's being so secretive and how she'd feel if I stopped telling her about what I've been up to. From there, we had a back and forth, and she's been giving me the silent treatment for hours now. Am I overreacting? Ooh.
That's interesting for sure.
What do you think she's doing in this alone time? Because I don't think she's painting, my guy. If I'm being honest, I'm going to give mine, and then you go ahead and give yours. Okay?
Okay.
Personally, and I hope that this is not true, okay? I hope that this is not true, but low-key, I think she's talking to somebody else. I think she's using this alone time and talking to somebody else, and maybe a coworker, maybe, a neighbor, it may be, a guy she met at the Quickie Mart. I don't know. All I do know is I feel like she's doing something she's not supposed to be doing, and it's why she's gotten so defensive, i.e. calling you controlling and yelling at you for bringing it up. It's probably why she doesn't have any art to show you, because she ain't been doing no art. You know what I mean? She might be doing the art of the nude, if I'm being honest with you. Let's hope not. But I'm just being honest with you. Like, if your partner is being that secretive, it's got to be something that she is not supposed to be doing that she's doing. And that does suck to hear, but it is a possibility, and it's one of those things where you probably won't even know until it's too late. Again, I hope that that's not what it is, but that's where I'm leaning to. I don't know. You can let me know. What you think?
So, I mean, you bring up a valid point, because it's like you said, where once a partner starts to change and be weird and secretive and change things up that you used to bond over, especially when it sounds like you guys really both enjoyed it, definitely is a big red flag. Now, he didn't necessarily say where she does her alone time at, so that's like the bit of information that I was like trying to like lock in on and see where maybe there could be some plausible deniability to say, because you said you went from dates on that block consistently all the time, and then out of nowhere, with no warning, no talk, no communication, she was like, I'm changing that to alone time. That to me is like, yeah, what you're saying is kind of interesting, because if she's not at home doing this alone time and she's not coming back with any art or any proof of her hobby, definitely a red flag. She might be like, like you said, posing for someone else, because at the end of the day, it sounds like once she's like, oh, you know what, I need some alone time, it sounds like you guys were spending too much time together, because I mean, me and you both know that if a woman is really into you, she will treat you like heroin and try to inject you into her veins.
Oh, 100%.
And so it's one of those things where, like, for her to flip just like that and be like, you know what, now I'm going to be alone and never really go on any dates that we used to anymore, with no communication, right? Because it's one thing if she expresses like, hey, I feel like we're spending too much time together. In order to cherish our time more, we should spend some time apart.
And that's what I thought when in the beginning I was just like, okay, she kind of wants like that whole let's spend some time apart so we can miss each other.
Yes.
And then he got into more detail, and it snowballed into something else. Yeah.
So I think no, you're good, brother. I think this is great. I think this is a opportunity for you to get your eyes opened, and I mean, personally, just like my opinion on it is like, if she's getting defensive and yelling, it's because there's something she's trying to protect dearly, right? Now, it could be personal space, but it also could be feelings for someone else. You know what I mean? And so you can either investigate and see like, all right, look, you told me not to bring up your alone time anymore, but I'm gonna be absolutely straight with you. It's either you start explaining yourself and we continue forward in this relationship, or if you think it's none of my fucking business, then you'll be completely none of my business and you can go do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if she's gonna start hiding stuff and being weird, you know, like, granted, like I said in the last episode, a lot of people understand that they don't want to waste their own time, and I get it. You know, no one wants to just throw something away, but this is something you gotta determine to yourself. Give it X amount of time, whether it's a month or 2 months. See if it works itself out where it's like, can we come to a compromise? Can you start being more open again? Can you explain to me what's going on? And if not, then it's like, all right, I'm not tolerating that. And you can go have your alone time for the rest of the time without me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, there's no need to, like I keep saying, there's no need to keep attached to her specifically. I understand you guys vibe and stuff like that, but you're going to end up with a lot more of a headache trying to fight this uphill battle, if it is an uphill battle, versus just starting from ground zero and picking a different hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, and I've said this so many times on the show, that if you have to micromanage your partner, that's just not a relationship you want to be in.
Yes.
There should be never a point where you feel the need to go through their phone, or you feel the need to know where they're at all the time, feel the need to have their location. Like, in my last relationship with my fiance of 5 years, we never had each other's locations. You want to know why? Because we never micromanaged each other. We never went through each other's phones or anything like that. We never had to really micromanage each other because we never felt the need to. It was an open style thing where it was just like, if you want to know what's going on, I'm just going to tell you. And so if she's being secretive like that, that's why I kind of say, you know, and like the great point that he made up, all of a sudden she's just made this change. Yeah. Because if it was the other way around, I would think the same thing. I would think, like, yeah, he's seeing another girl.
Yes.
He's cheating on you. Because you're not going to go from spending all this time together to all of a sudden having this alone time and then being defensive over this alone time. Yeah. It's like, where the hell is all that coming from? So, yeah, man, I hope that that's not the case.
Right.
You know, and like he said, you got to just decide for yourself. Is this something you're going to, you know, continue on, or are you going to just choose another hill to climb? Because it's not worth staying on this one. It's up to you, my guy, but you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. On to our next one. Am I overreacting? My brother-in-law touching me. Okay. My brother-in-law is truly a nice guy, married and really good to me and my family as well as my husband. Lately, he's been touching me like hand on hip when he hugs me, putting both his arms around me and lingering on my lower back, etc. He trying to fill up on that ass. God damn, girl, you got a dump truck back there or what? Also, commenting on my nice body. No, I bet you do. Come on now. Just odd things. I have never been creeped out by him and genuinely do not think he's making a move. I just think he is not thinking about these things because in the first woman in the entire family after his wife. Oh, I'm the first woman in the family after his wife. He made a comment recently that made me feel like it's time to say something. He insinuated my husband only married me because of my large chest. She got the mommy milkers. Okay. I'm very self-conscious about my big boobs because men always comment on my body, so hearing this really sent me into a spiral. I know my brother-in-law likes me as a sister, and he's never said that before. He thinks he's funny when he says stuff like this, but I thought it was rude and wrong to comment on my body. My husband loves his brother, and they have a great relationship, and I feel bad for saying anything. My husband just laughs it off because he's afraid of confrontation and is a people pleaser. Sound like a bitch to me. He's not he's not defending his brother, but he also isn't saying anything about it either. My husband and his brother had a traumatic childhood and are both socially awkward, so I'm not sure how to approach this. I want to assume he's just weird because they don't have any women in their family blood related, but I just want to know if I'm overreacting for thinking this is weird. I just wish my husband understood as a woman where I'm coming from. So am I overreacting that my brother-in-law is touching me?
No. I'm gonna say no, and the reason I say that is because, especially just from dealing with people and my own personal life, my own personal ordeals, plausible deniability is a thing where when I say plausible deniability, what I mean is being so ambiguous in statements or actions that you can deny any wrongdoing just for the simple fact of like you get away with what you want to get away with, but also you can't be proven to be held in the negative, is like a thing with all people, right? Men, women, children, adults, elderly, all that kind of stuff, right? And so that's where I'm like, I don't feel like you're overreacting. It's just kind of hard because like plausible deniability is, once you try to bring it to light, there's so many different factors of like, oh, it's just an opinion. It's just, well, no, like that's just how I give hugs, blah, 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 right? You gotta really look into habits of how does he actually treat people. Now you said that you're the only woman in their lives right now, right? Because their families,
aside from his wife.
You're right, aside from his wife. And it's like, all right, well, is he hugging his wife the same way? Does he talk about his wife the same way? Like, yeah, I only married her for her knockers or something like that. You know, if that's something that's very common, one, he's just naturally a rude dude. But two, if it's common, then it may be harmless. If it's uncommon, like it sounds like it is, then it's probably a red flag. And he's because it's not uncommon for a dude to be like, damn, dude, I got this sister instead of that sister. You know what I mean? So
true.
And that's not the reality for all men, right? But at the same time, that's how some men see it, and especially if he's like lingering and like, you know, like, oh, I hope she accidentally like lets me, or like I hope I brush up against you or some shit, you know what I mean, where it's like becoming more and more frequent, where like you guys are making physical contact more and more often, then it's like, all right, it's intentional, but with the idea of like, if anything comes up, I'll be able to deny any wrongdoing, you know.
Yeah.
And for the shtick of your husband, I think you hit the nail right on the head of the hammer with the hammer. That motherfucker's kind of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. He has healing to do. Like you said, he has trauma. He's a people pleaser. That's a very self-destructive tendency and a destructive tendency for relationships as well, because like you said, you could be in danger. He's afraid of confrontation, and is he going to be there for you?
Yeah, is he going to protect you?
Is he going to protect you? Is he going to protect your kids that you guys may have? And if not right now, in the future, hit any of his family members, stuff like that, you know, where it's like, you got to have a man with a backbone that's willing to have the conversation, be willing to do the work, willing to stand up, right?
Willing to die for you.
Yep.
That's our loyalty in a relationship, is being willing to die for our family, for our kids, and for our wife. Like, that is our loyalty. He's being disloyal to you by being afraid of confrontation, even if it's with his own family.
Yep.
Like, now, were you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, you're good.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to, like, cut into you or nothing like that.
You're
I
good,
wanted to
brother.
give you the floor. But for me, personally, I think he's just trying to fuck you. All right, let's just call a spade a spade. I just think he's trying to fuck you. I think it's a thing where, look, men, we want variety when it comes to women, and I think he looks at it like, yeah, I've been having sex with my wife, and that's cool, and I love her, but if I can use plausible deniability, like he said, I could do it, you know, one of those things where I just, you know, have a bunch of little touches here and there. She maybe gets a little, like, secret, you know, idea, like, ooh, you know, like, kind of catch my drift kind of thing. And that's why he's touching your lower back. He's having a little more sexual contact with you, but it's not, like, overtly sexual. It's like she said, innuendo kind of sexual, and that's why he's having innuendo conversations with you. He's just trying to allude to like, hey, you know, you, me, you know, and ain't nobody gotta know. And I think that's really what it comes down to. It's just, he's just trying to fuck. He looks at it like, yeah, man, I would love to have a little one-time thing, and that is honestly very dangerous that he's trying to do that with his brother's wife.
Yeah.
I understand trying to do that with, you know, the coworker or this and that or whatever it may be, but trying to do that with your brother's wife, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And the fact that your husband probably knows this, knows that that is his intention when he looks at your wife, that's his intention when he touches his wife. Like, the fact that he knows this and he doesn't, that's why he doesn't want to confront him. Because he doesn't want to have this uncomfortable talk right now that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
The fact that he wants to fuck you, that's what it comes down to. He doesn't want to sit there and look his brother in the eye and say, you want to fuck my wife, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You want to have sex with my girl, that's crazy. I see the way you look at her, see the way you oogle her, her body parts, the way you touch her, all this shit. You want to fuck my wife, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's why I called him a baby back bitch.
Yeah.
Because if you can't sit there and have a tough conversation with your brother or with your boy or with whoever it is in the situation, you're a bitch. That's what it comes down to. You can't stick up for your girl when she's obviously uncomfortable. You need to be able to be that man to take that uncomfortable conversation, put it on your back, and be a man and fucking man up and have the conversation. Bro, you want to fuck my wife? And have that conversation in front of everybody. Call his bitch ass out in front of everybody. Be like, hey, man, like, I don't like the way you touching my girl and this and that, bro. Like, don't do that. If you're going to give her a hug, you give her one of the little side, you know, one-arm side hug type shit. My girl's uncomfortable with that. I don't want you hugging her like that no more. And if he has a problem with that, then you call his bitch ass out. You want to fuck my girl, don't you? You know, embarrass his ass. But see, I get it. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why I really agree with my boy over here, because it's like, if your man is not willing to step up in this simple situation, if I'm being honest with you, if there is a situation where you guys are out on the street and a dude decides to slap and grab your ass, I've said this before in the show, and I'll say it again. In the situation, this scenario comes up a lot, and I'm sure you've heard it too. If a big buff black dude slaps my girl's ass, guess what? I'm fighting him. Am I gonna lose? Yeah, but I'm fighting him. You're not about to just touch my girl and nothing happens. I'm not about to just stand, oh shit, that's your girl now, homie. Nah. I'm gonna fight the nigga. And if I lose, I lose. If I win, even better. You know what I mean? But that is your lot in life as a man, is for you to step in and take on those confrontations, take on those situations. And if you're not that guy, well, then guess what, man? You got a lot of manning up to do. You got a lot of strengthening up to do. You know, you need to really evaluate who you are in a woman's life, because women want safety and security. And if you can't give them that, then there's no reason for them to be in a relationship with you. You know, that's just the bottom line. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is what women want in a relationship. She looks at you like, that is my protector. That is my security blanket. That is how women go about their dating strategies. That's why they date tall guys. That's why they want guys who are stronger than them, more competent than them. They want guys who have more money than them, i.e. resources than them, because they look at it like, I am the more inferior gender, so I need a superior in order to protect my offspring. This is biology. This is innate. This is not, you know, me trying to manosphere some shit. No, this is just biology. It's been since the dawn of time that the strongest men get the most women. Why? Because they're able to protect them. That is just what it comes down to. And they're willing to fight and die for them, as they have many times over. It's why, you know, we went to wars. It's why we had revolutions. It's why we did all this stuff, because men are fight for their ideals to protect the women that they are with. That's just what it comes down to. And so, again, that's why I called him a bitch. I called him a bitch right then and there, because I'm like, dude, I already know where this is going. I already know what kind of guy this dude is. I already know. You probably wear the pants in this relationship, if being honest with you. You tell him what to do. If I'm being real with you, you probably tell that nigga what to do. So,
And to add to the point where if you want more concrete evidence towards that, it's the idea that he commented like, you have a nice body, right?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
not a
he's got a nice
dude
body.
in the world that's like, yeah, she's got a nice body, I don't want to fuck her.
Hundred-
Nope, not doing that. Yeah, god damn. Like, yeah, that
Makes sense.
he made it very clear. And then also the comment about like him saying like your husband only married you for your boobs or whatever, that in and of itself is a comment of jealousy, right? To say you have no other redeeming qualities other than your boobs, and that his brother is so dumb of selecting a partner to only go after that is a absolute sign of jealousy. And so, like he said, he absolutely wants to fuck you. But like I was saying earlier, there's plausible deniability. He could just be a rude fucking dude and has no idea that he's being obnoxious and dumb. But at the same time, it's more likely that he just wants to fuck you. You need to talk to your husband about, like, listen, brother, if he's afraid of confrontation, get the confrontation to him where it's like, we're going to have confrontation every day until you figure out how to grow a fucking spine. You know what I mean?
I grow a pair of fucking nuts.
And then from there, you guys can work towards getting the brother the fuck away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's another situation of, it begins and ends with the man. God
Yes.
damn.
Yeah.
It continues to prove true.
Yes.
All right, let's get to our next one. My girlfriend is cheating with me. Wait. Nigga, what? All right.
I think I know where he's going.
All right, let's see. Me, male 27, and my girlfriend, female 25, got into contact exactly last year. We were in a long-distance relationship from the start. I was the one crushing over her. We both knew our intentions with each other. After 2 months, we got committed into a relationship. Since then, it was going too nice, means too beautiful journey ever. She lives separately from her family because of her work, but since start of our relationship, she always told every small detail about her day, just so I don't feel insecure. But since this month, her birthday month, I got to know that there's a guy that comes to, at her house late night. Once I noticed that there's someone, but she said it's the delivery guy. Oh, damn.
Stop the cap.
Damn. But the thing is, she already told me that delivery executives are not allowed to enter her locality after a certain time. So it was confirmed that there's another guy in her life. Now, today is her birthday. She told me she is going on a solo trip, but I'm sure that she is not alone at all. She is acting so normally, like everything is okay between us, and I'm also pretending from the last 10 days like I don't know anything. I don't know what I should do next. Need advice. Did that go the way you thought it was going to go?
No.
How did you think it was going to go?
Because he said in the beginning she's cheating on me with me, right?
Yeah, my girlfriend is... I think what it is, we get a lot of viewers where English may not be their first language. And so I think he's trying to say, my girlfriend is cheating on me. And I think that's what he was coming at, because I do get a lot of viewers, because even reading it, his sentences were all fucked up.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, and a lot of people sit there and they're like, you can't read, and I'm like, I'm reading verbatim. Hey, I'm reading verbatim.
Right.
So I think what it is his girlfriend is cheating on him, and he needs advice.
Okay.
Because what I thought it was is, she had a boyfriend, they started talking, and then she was cheating on that guy with him.
Okay.
That's what I thought it was. But then obviously reading the story, it's not. I mean, look, if I'm being honest with you, my guy, the fact that you guys were long distance already just kills the relationship.
Yes.
That's already don't do long distance relationships. They never work. They never work out. It just is what it is, man. And the reason it never works out is because women need to have that, like, closeness and be around you. Like he said in one of the previous situations, like, if a woman is actually interested in you or obsessed with you, dude, she's going to inject you, like heroin in her veins. She wants to be around you all the time. She wants to talk to you all the time. She wants to go on dates all the time, all that shit. And they can't do that long distance. They will find a motherfucker to fill that role. And that's just what it comes down to. And she probably also sees it as like, wow, you know, this dude probably is never going to have the means to come see me, i.e., you know, make the money to be able to come see me or give me a future or anything like that. So she kind of looks at it like, I like him, I care about him, but he can't give me what I'm looking for in the long term. So, you know, Jake over here can give me what I'm looking for long term. He lived down the street. He come over and lay that pipe down every once in a while. You know, we make s'mores and watch movies and shit like that. I can't do that with you. Yeah, and so it just is what it is, bro. You're going to have to let this one go, break up with her, and just be like, it's not you, you know. Don't even mention the cheating, none of that shit. Just break up with her. Just, hey, you know, I don't think this is working out. Long distance shit, it's just kind of getting to me. This and that. And you let her go.
Yep.
You just let her go with it, man. I don't think that there's going to be advice on this planet. My boy might be able to give you some advice after this, but I don't know. That will save this relationship, if I'm being real with you. But I don't know. You let me know.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, like, I think you're absolutely right. I think long distance typically never ever works unless they just begin to idolize you from the absolute get-go. But there's got to be more implemented before they can just do that, you know? Yeah. No one will purely just go off of a long-term idea, you know? And so for myself, I would say, much like he said, you know, if you want to, you know, you can confront her, because I wouldn't suggest it, but at the end of the day, right, she said it was delivery dudes or whatever, delivering dick, and and you found out that wasn't true. So, like, that's already a lie about what it was. You confront her, she's going to find something else to work around it with, where it's like, it is delivery dudes. Some people get so caught up where they're just like, no matter what proof you put in front of them, they're just gonna be like, stick to the same story.
And that's why I was like, don't even mention the cheating, just break up with her.
Exactly.
She's gonna come up with 1,000,001 excuses on, you know, why she's not doing what she's doing.
Yeah, because right now she's monkey branching you, and, you know, if she wants to go all in with this other dude, just cut yourself off, you know, like he said, you know, let her go free, let her do her thing. It's your fault, but it's not your fault, you know what I mean? What you choose to do with, like, if you want to tolerate it or not is up to you, and whatever happens from either one of those will be your own consequences. And so I would just say, if she's willing to do that, dude, don't participate in it, you know, let the dude have her. You can have someone else, you know, or do something else, you know, occupy your time somewhere else that's actually meaningful, not draining, because it sounds like this has been draining enough for you to come and ask for advice. And so from there, I would just, like my boy said, just cut her off, do something else, repair your mind, and it'll be fine. You know what I mean? You only had the long distance relationship for not even 6 months. I don't think it was, right?
No, it was a year.
Oh, for a year?
Yeah, exactly a year.
Oh, okay, for exactly a year, right? Yeah, you got plenty of life ahead of you. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, I mean, dude, you're only 27.
Exactly.
Like, relax,
exactly,
bro. You're
yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have, like, 3-4 years over you, and we know.
Yeah.
And I'd say this to all the guys, you know, that ask me for advice when getting out of a relationship, you know, how to get past it, how to do this. This is my crash course guide to getting over a girl. All right? Clip this, whatever, send it to your friend, whatever it is. But when you get out of a relationship as a guy, you know, with a girl that you loved and she cared about you, and she may have did you wrong, or, you know, she cheated, whatever it may be, you guys broke up and you're heartbroken, do not sit there and sulk and cry and just lay in your bed all day. Don't do that shit. What you need to do is you need to get in the gym. All right? That's the first thing. You need to get in the gym. I don't care what gym. I don't care what you do at the gym. But you need to be in the gym at least 15 minutes a day. I don't care if you just got off work. I don't care if you're sad, you want to do it, whatever. No, get into the gym, spend 15 minutes a day at least. Why? Because that gets you out of the house, okay? They get you out of the house. They get you out of this cell you decided to put yourself in. And it gets you outside. You know what I mean? You can either be social, you can talk to other people, or you're just out. You're enjoying the day, whatever it may be. Then what you'll start to notice is now you're going to the gym every day for at least 15 minutes. Guess what? You get out of the shower and you look at yourself and you're like, whoa, hold up. Like, oh, you start to notice your body changing. You started to noticing like your physique are actually changing and molding into something different. You're like, wait a minute, the man titties are gone, or wait a minute, my biceps are growing a little bit. You start to notice that change, and what does that do? That gives you confidence. And you sit there and you're now a person that has gone out, you've made yourself determined. You're doing something that is productive. You are disciplining yourself in something. And then now you have confidence from all of that. And then I say, after that, now you've got, you have the discipline to go to the gym at least 15 minutes a day. You are noticing that your body is changing, and that's giving you confidence. Now what you do is you get a hobby. You get a hobby and you work more hours. All right? You work more hours. Why? Because you don't have a girl to come home to. You ain't got nothing to come home to, nigga. The fuck you talking about? You ain't got, what are you going home to? To jerk off and play video games? No, bruh. No. Get out of that mindset. Work more hours. All right? Pick up an extra day. Pick up some overtime. Whatever it may be. You want to know why? Is because once you start to see yourself having more money leads to more opportunity. More money then allows you to have more confidence when you're dealing with women. Reason being is because if you do meet a girl out on the street, say because your physique is looking great, right? There's a shirt that you used to look just gross in. But now that your physique has changed, and this has happened to me. I used to look gross in a lot of my shirts because I was really skinny. But then, I started to work out, gain a little muscle mass, and now shirts look great on me. And, you start noticing women looking at you and stuff, and you spark up conversations. Why? Because you have that confidence because of what you look like. You have that confidence because, you go out and you're determined and you got this. You got money in your pocket. You're like, yeah, I can take this girl out and have a good time. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing on me. And so it's one of those things where, having more money leads to more opportunity, leads to more confidence within relationships and stuff like that. And what you should do is be taking that money and putting it into a hobby. I don't care what the fucking hobby is. You could be a goddamn woodworker. You could, start a podcast. You can do a YouTube channel, whatever it may be. You can stream. I don't care what it is, but put your money and your time into something. And this is what I call the well-rounded man. It is one of those things where you are disciplined now. You are time managed. You have your money on point. And you are doing something and giving back to society, whatever it is. Your hobby, you turn that into making money, whatever it may be, because that's what I did. When I got out of my relationship, with my ex-fiance, bro, I was a POS, man. Laid on the couch all day. I was just sad, this and that. And you know what? I found a lot of men empowerment podcasts and shit like that. And you know what they told me? They said, get the fuck off the couch, you lazy piece of shit, and do something. Do something. And for me, I was just like, once I heard going to the gym, I was like, okay, let me try that. And I tried it. I did it. I did exactly that. I went every day for 15 minutes. And honestly, sometimes I was just like, damn, 15 minutes is over? I can stay a little longer. And you stay a little longer, and then you start doing more and more, and then you get into it. Now you're looking up recipes and looking up, ways to eat more healthier, more cleaner, more, having a high-protein diet, and calorie counting. You get so engrossed in it because you start to see your body changing, and then you start to notice the way women look at you. Women, I went to the grocery store one day, and I noticed this girl was just fucking the crap out of me, and I'm just like, she looking at me like, oh shit, hey, what's up, And then I got into the mindset of like, holy shit, if I'm gonna be dealing with women, I need to have some more money. Let's be honest here. And so I picked up extra days, I picked up extra hours, I did all that stuff. Now I had all this money, and I was just like, I have all this money, but it's just burning a hole in my pocket. It's not really doing anything for me. So then what did I do? I was just like, what are things that I like to do? And that's the birth of the podcast. I put all my money into a podcast. I now have such a routine life to the point where I am disciplined. I got my money together, and I am doing something that I enjoy and love and committing my time to something versus just being there, being a lazy POS, and that's what you need to do, my guy. That is the roadmap. That is the man's guide right there. Now, obviously, you can take that foundation and, fix it to fit your life and stuff like that. But that is what you need to be doing. You can't just be sitting around doing nothing, my guy, crying over this bitch that didn't deserve you anyway. Let's be honest,
Yeah, and I would say the point that you're definitely trying to drive home, I think it's absolutely beautiful. The idea is be someone for yourself that you would want like someone to be to you, right? And so, if you would want a partner that's consistent, you got to be consistent, right? If you would want a partner that has like hobbies, is fun, will like romanticize you, you got to do the exact same things for yourself, right? I.e., you get in the gym, you show yourself like, oh, you know what? Like I'm moving a little bit more weight, and that was something that I went through myself in the gym where, I was like struggling to put up 135, and then, I just was like, I'm going to get in here every day and start moving weight, Then I remember the first time I hit 185, and then I was like, okay, like I'm starting to get some strength. Then I hit 225. I'm like, okay. Then I hit 255, and I was on the road to 315. And not to say that like I let things get in the way of the gym, but I had priority shift. I wanted to develop my time more into my craft, and so I did cut out the gym, but I still worked out at home. So I slimmed down a lot because I started walking and doing cardio a lot more, and then also doing at-home calisthenics. And so I slimmed down a lot, and yeah, I might not be able to hit the 255 anymore or anything like that. However, I still have strength to me. You know what I mean? I still have body weight strength. And these were promises that I kept to myself where it's like, I'm going to be consistent in making sure my body's healthy. I put the right fuel in my race car, which is me, I do dope stuff for myself where it's like, I cook my own food. I make it better than anyone could fucking make it. You know what I mean? I clean my room, my car, whatever. I make it look the way I would. No one's better at fucking designing my life than I am. You know what I mean? And so it's the same thing for yourself. You be there for yourself so hard that whenever someone else comes into play, you have nothing but to judge them with like the utmost highest expectations because you already do that kind of stuff for yourself. And so from there, that's how you get a partner that's actually worthy of your time. Is like, yeah, I'm sure this chick made you feel pretty great or whatever because of like you stayed with her for a year. But then at the end of the day, she traded all that stuff. And what we're trying to get you to do is not actually focus on, that's where my happiness came from, or that's the only thing that was like pushing me for anything. You know what I mean? It's you start doing stuff for yourself, you drive yourself, and then from there, anyone else that's allowed into your life is one, a choice, and two, blessed to be there.
Yeah. I feel it. All right. You guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments. Let's get on to our next one. All right. Am I wrong for expecting my girlfriend to apologize? Oh, bro, good luck on that. All right, you know what? I'm not even going to read it because it's not going to happen. No, I'm kidding. All right, I've been with my girlfriend for 5.5 years. Her family get together at a bar 2 to 3 times a year to catch up, so I know them well. She has a cousin she's close to who has just turned 17 this month. This year, she's invited her cousin out with us for food, to the cinema, and a couple of days out. I don't mind since I get on well with her and we have a similar taste in movies, books, and video games, etc. And I have grown up with a younger brother and sister, so it reminds me of the time I used to spend with them and the times I used to take them to the cinema, etc. We had a family get-together last weekend, and I spent part of it talking to my girlfriend's cousin about upcoming movies and games. I was also talking to other members of the family, throughout the night is what he means. Throughout the night, so it's not like I only talked to the cousin. When we got home, my girlfriend said she needed to ask me something. She asked if I was attracted to her cousin. Like, bitch, she's 17. What you mean? I asked if she was serious. I pointed out her cousin is a child that I've known since she was 12. I asked if she really thinks that low of me. She said it's not as if her cousin is a young child, but I just said it hurts that she thinks so little of me. She pointed out the time I'd spend talking to her at the get-together, but I just said again she wasn't the only person I was talking to, and then yeah, I'm going to talk more to people I know better and know I have things in common with. I just said it's disgusting she thinks that of me and that I expect an apology. She said she was just making sure and that we seemed close, but I just said again, I'm waiting for an apology. She said she wasn't going to apologize for being cautious and just making sure, but I just said she should know me better than that and shouldn't imply what she's implying. So am I wrong for expecting an apology? I don't think you're wrong for expecting an apology. You just ain't gonna get it. Let's just be honest here, bro. She's using the plausible deniability of like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not gonna apologize for something that I didn't do, or she's not going to apologize for something that she doesn't feel sorry for saying. Okay, she's not sorry that she said that to you. It's one of those things where I get it. You look at it like she should be, sorry for implying that I'm some, child predator or something like that. I get that, but she just doesn't see it that way. So she's like, I'm not going to apologize for something that I don't feel sorry for saying. And if I'm being honest with you, my guy, it comes back to the whole accountability thing, man. Like we said, I get it. You're already 5.5 years into this relationship, but I think it's a thing where you haven't been really holding her accountable for shit. And so now something comes up, and this is exactly what I dealt in my relationship. I was in the same amount of years, 5.5, and it got to a point where I started holding her accountable for things, and all of a sudden it feels like out of nowhere, she's like, what the fuck? Why do I have to be held accountable for this and that, or for saying this and that? And it's because we weren't holding them accountable from the beginning. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say, just let it go and it is what it is, but I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, she needs to give you an apology, because the truth of the matter is she's not, whether you like it or not. And that's how you're going to have to move with it. You're going to have to just figure out what it is that you want to do going forward, because if I'm being honest with you, man, I don't really know. If I'm being real, it's tough, just because I want to be able to help you out. But if I'm going to be real with you, which I like to be real with all my viewers, it's a thing where you ain't going to get that sorry, and it is what it is. And that's the reason why. It's because she don't feel sorry about what she said. She's like, nah, I was a truth nigga, and I called you out on it, and, it wasn't what I thought it was, so it's all good. We're fine. And if you don't like that and you want to break up with her for it, or you want to huff and puff about it, then that's what you're going to have to do. But I don't know. What do you think? That one's...
So what I would say is you're not wrong for wanting an apology. I agree, Yeah. It's just one of those things where you got to understand that her ideas behind it were a projection, right? No way of a reflection of what you've done, Like you said, you talked to her, you have things in common. She, in your eyes, is just a kid cousin that you knew. And so for her, in her mind, she thinks probably of herself and of other people that, like, once they see something that they find interesting, they're attracted to it, And so in her mind, she knows that I'm not going to get too crazy, but, in a similar situation of the sorts, not necessarily 17-year-old male, whatever, but in a similar situation where she has something in common with a lot of people, she might not be able to trust herself in that situation, right? And so for her, she's like, you know what? That strikes me as weird, because in her mind, she's thinking,
you're saying if there was a guy that she had a bunch in common with, she would find that guy attractive, and possibly, not saying she would, but possibly she would like be so attracted to that guy over her boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay. Most of I would say
she thinks that because she would do that, he would do that.
Yeah. I would say most of people's assumptions and ideas are just a projection of how they perceive reality, you know, their reality per se. And so when, like I said, she saw that and was like, that's weird, you know what I mean? And it's just like with any scenario anywhere where it's like, oh, you go out and you see, let's say a big, she probably goes out and sees like this big dude dressed in all black. He's like, oh, that's someone that's going to probably try to mug me, when it could be the nicest guy in the history of gentlemen that's looking to give the next person he sees $1 million. You never know, right? And it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I get it. People have like their own biases, their own thoughts and stuff like that. And was she wrong for putting that on you? A little bit, yeah. But at the same time, what I would suggest for you is, one, just take it with a grain of salt, you know. She's just trying to look out for her own well-being because she feels like she needs to do X, Y, and Z to protect herself, you know what I mean? And there's not really anything wrong with people trying to protect themselves, you know what I mean? It just says that to her, she has things that are important and she really believes in them, you know? Which is why, but the way she handles it, where it's like, she didn't really come at you crazy where it's like you definitely want to fuck her and you are so inappropriate and now I'm gonna bash you. It was just like do you see her that way? No. Okay, sweet. You know, for you, this is what I'm getting at as well, where it's like you kind of projected onto her that she looks at you as a horrible person because you in your mind think that if you were in that scenario, you'd be a horrible person to try to talk to a 17-year-old girl, which I would say kudos to you, dude. Like that proves that you're not a bad dude. And so like we're saying, you're probably not going to get that fucking apology. Honestly.
I think that is the one thing you're going to have to like come to terms with.
Yeah.
Is that you're not going to get the apology. I mean, I think he said it better than I did. I'd go with his advice over mine because I didn't really think about it like that, as far as it's a projection on her side that, yeah, she would probably do that if she met a dude and was like super interested in him. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's hey man, that's why he's here, man.
And so what I would say for you though is just like, it's going to take some mental work, but just assume that she's sorry, dude. Assume that she, in her mind, understood, like, damn, that was kind of fucked up. I'm sorry, but I'm too proud to admit it. You know what I mean? Because that could have been a conversation she had with herself. You know what I mean?
And I think she did.
Yeah,
I definitely
exactly.
She gave you a little more of a backhanded apology more than an apology. But
And so just from moving on from there, she'll probably start to just be a little bit better, and then you guys can just move forward, you know?
Yeah. All right. You guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments, all right? So on to our next one. Am I wrong for caring about someone I no longer have a place with? Okay. I, 21 male, want an outside perspective on whether my thinking is wrong or not. There is a classmate, 22 female, I used to know who told me she was diagnosed with stage 4 bladder cancer. When I last saw her, she looked physically okay and said she was working on managing on her own, even though she mentioned having pain and other symptoms. We haven't spoken in over a year, and for personal reasons, I can't reach out. She also has a boyfriend now, so I know it wouldn't be appropriate for me to be emotionally involved in her life. I'm not doubting her illness at all. I just found myself still worrying about her and mentally going back and forth about how serious things might be. Am I wrong for still feeling concerned, or should I fully let this go since I am no longer part of her life? So this one's kind of a moral dilemma, if anything. I mean, he didn't mention that he had a girlfriend or anything like that.
Right.
So I don't know if because what I was thinking is maybe he had a girlfriend, but because he was thinking about this girl a lot, the girlfriend was probably feeling some type of way. But he didn't really mention a girlfriend. Now, personally, for me, I don't think that you are wrong for feeling the way you feel about this person, just because, for one, you guys knew each other very closely, it seems, because at one point you were kind of there for her and type shit. But again, and then you also were saying that you don't think that she's lying about having cancer. Now, that's a little weird too. I think it's a thing where it's simply, look, you're not wrong for feeling the way that you feel. You're not wrong about that part. Why? Because even if there are people, even people that I used to go to high school with that I no longer talk to anymore, or even ex-girlfriends that I no longer talk to anymore, I still wish them well. And, you know, I still think about them like, man, I hope their life is doing well, this, and that. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you think about them fondly, you hope them well, and it is what it is, and you kind of just move on with your life and you move on with your day. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing now as far as like her having a boyfriend and stuff like that. You already understand that you probably shouldn't be involved in her life or even intimately involved in her life, and I understand that because you got to have respect for her relationship, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is, but you should never let that also stop you from reaching out every once in a while. Hey, you know, how have you been? I hope that things have been well. You know what I mean? And the last time we talked X, Y, and Z and this and that. So again, I don't think that it's wrong for you to care, even though you guys don't talk anymore. And then I don't even think it'd be wrong even if you reached out and was just like, hey, because it would still be respectful. You do it respectfully, not in a way of you're like trying to hit on her or nothing, but you just reach out in a respectful way. And I think her boyfriend would understand that. She would understand that. There's nothing wrong with it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely right. As far as my understanding, and obviously I don't have nearly any medical experience or anything like that.
Same.
But I think bladder cancer is probably along the same lines of like testicular cancer. Like you just get your bladder removed and then you no longer have cancer with treatment and stuff like that.
Or you could probably get a part of it removed or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's why, like, possibly you're not really understanding where she's at health wise. I don't think bladder cancer is anything that's super deadly. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's super deadly. And so I don't think she's lying about it. It sounds like you do have like actual intimate feelings for her. And that's maybe where you're coming from with the idea of like, I shouldn't reach out because of personal reasons. And like, you know, she's got a boyfriend now where like, you know, like platonically, right? If you are a female and you are reaching out, it wouldn't be inappropriate. Just like if you're a platonic male friend and you're reaching out, it's not inappropriate because it's all platonic. You know what I mean? If there's some underlying thought in your mind where you're like, all right, well, I hope this leads somewhere, then I get where you're coming from, where it's like, I shouldn't reach out because I want it to lead somewhere and it's not supposed to. So one, if it is that, kudos to you for actually having the balls to like hold back. But also just I would just say like for your own mental sake, just assume that she's fine, you know, assume that everything's going well, assume that she's thriving, and you know, don't worry about it too much, because at the end of the day, she's not your girl. She's a friend. Like he said, I would just say if you do feel the need to reach out, that's absolutely fine. Like, hey, you know, you like don't say like you did have cancer, how you feeling, but like, you know, like how are you? How are things? You know, and if she says fine, you know, then assume that that's the 100% truth. You know.
Yeah. See, now I didn't think, you know, that because I assumed a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
But then when you said that he might have some feelings for her, it made me think like, you know what? He might. Yeah. He might have some feels in there. And that's probably why this is such a moral dilemma for him.
Yes.
And I think if she didn't have a boyfriend, he probably would have just been like, he would have never wrote this. He would have reached out to her. Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing?
Yeah.
You know, what's up? This, and that. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if you got some feelings for her, man, yeah, then it is good that you did not reach out.
Yes.
And if you do have feelings, don't reach out to her. Yeah. Even if it's just like a friendly, hey, how have you been? Don't do that to yourself. Yeah. Yeah, don't purposely put yourself in the friend zone, and don't do that, bro. Don't do that, because it's only going to hurt you, and it's not going to be advantageous for you. It's not going to be a good acquisition of your time. It's just not. So.
And to that exact point, right, I hate to cut you off, but to that exact point, right, the reason for that is, say you do reach out, you guys start a relationship. We've talked about it before. How you get her is how you lose her, right? And so she has a boyfriend right now. If she, in her mind, was like, oh, well, I really liked you, but I'm just doing this boyfriend thing for right now, then it's like she's not being committed in that relationship. Who's to say if she were to get with you, she would be committed to you? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's the idea of like, you got to just assume everything's going well, everything's all right with her, and then do not reach out, move past it, and just, you can care about someone else, dude. It's not a big deal. She's not the only girl in the world.
100%.
Like I said, reach out the one time, be completely platonic, and then assume everything's great. And then if she reaches back out later, you just determine based off, because you're only 21, right? She's 22, you're 21. You have this is your like figuring out time to where you figure out what you want to do in life, how you want to build your empire, what kind of physique, health, and all that you want to plan.
21, you shouldn't even be interested in girls. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I think like from the age of 18 to 25 for a man, you shouldn't be interested in girls at all. You shouldn't even sure, have fun, casual flings and this and that, sure. But you shouldn't be focused on girls at all between that age. Between 18 and 25, you need to be focusing on either developing a skill, making money, getting into a job field, or starting something, your own business, social media, whatever it is that you want to do. From the age of 18 to 25, bro, you shouldn't be wasting your time with women in relationships. Right. You really shouldn't. Not at all. You need to be focusing, because you got to understand, bro, that if you don't do the work now, you're going to be doing the work later.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be 30 years old doing the work, bro. Trust me, that shit's exhausting.
Yep.
I mean, I really wish I had got into the podcast game and all this stuff earlier on in my life. I really wish I did, because, I always look into myself. I'm like, damn, man, if I got into investing, if I got into Roth IRAs, if I got into the S&P 500, if I got into doing the podcast and all this stuff earlier on, bro, I'd be in such a better spot in my 30s. But no, here I am, bifocals and cane, talking to you kids. Nah. But I'm just saying, though, it's like the earlier you start and the earlier you build yourself, that compounding effort and that compounding interest that you're going to be putting out into the world will double when you get into your 30s. And then by the time you're in your 40s, bro, you're doing your damn thing.
Yeah.
You can retire in your 40s if you want to.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that, assuming you put the work in. But yeah, I don't think you should, like he said, don't even, there's plenty of other bitches in the world, man. There's a girl turning 18 every single day. Focus on work, focus on making money, focus on being somebody, and then, focus on women.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get on to our next one. Am I overreacting that my girlfriend referred to me as her friend? Cooked.
Don't even need to read the rest. No.
Cooked, right?
Yeah.
Cooked.
God,
all right, on to our next one. No. Oh, bro. Okay. So for context, 23 male, have been with my 23 male, have been with my girlfriend, 25 female, for almost 6 years. We are long distance, but have met and visited each other multiple times. Bro, it can't get worse for you.
Yeah.
Okay, she called you a friend and you're long distance. Okay, you are double cooked. You are burnt at this point. There really hasn't been any issue or anything, but this Christmas I found out she referred to me as her friend. For more context, I couldn't visit her for Christmas, so I shipped her gifts to her. And this year she went to her friend's family for Christmas, because her family doesn't do anything for Christmas. And she opened the presents at their place and asked if they asked who they were from. I was just curious if they asked and what she said. She then told me they did, and that she said they were from her friend. God damn! That sucks, bro. I told her that and asked why she said that, and her reasoning was they didn't really need to know, i.e. she's embarrassed that she's dating a long distance dude. Let's be honest here. And it just felt like a crappy answer. I feel like she's hiding me from them. And what's worse is that the friend whose family she spent the Christmas with has asked her out before. So this is a guy friend.
God damn it, dude.
Oh, no.
No.
I said at the top of the scenario, can it get any worse for you? And it got worse.
Bro.
Oh. All right, I don't know. I feel like when she's around them, she tries to hide our relationship and act like we aren't together, and it really hurts. When they aren't around, she's openly loving and can be, but I just don't know what's going on. I just want to know, am I overreacting or is this weird? Bro, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Absolutely cooked. You want to know why? Is because she is literally playing the facade of being single while in a relationship.
Yep.
She is like holding on to you while she's out here scoping the scene for a new dude.
Yeah.
You know, she's just, bro, I'm telling you, if the opportunity of a better guy comes up, she's taking that opportunity.
Yes.
She's taking that opportunity. I mean, I was going to let you cook on this one first, but man.
I mean, like, you absolutely were right, bro. You put them on a grill, turn the stove on, you're cooked. Left you on. It's been about 4 or 5 hours now. You're burnt to a crisp. You're turning the dust at this point, because at the end of the day, right? We've said it before, right? Like, you don't meet a crackhead and they're like, damn, I can't get crack today. I guess I'll just stop doing crack. They're going to do everything in their fucking power to just get more and more of that drug, you know?
Yeah,
and it's the same thing for like women and even men and their girlfriends, or women and their boyfriends. You know what I mean? If she was actually that proud of you, right? Now, there is one reservation where maybe her family is toxic and gets in the way of her relationships constantly.
But I don't think that was that.
I don't think that's
was
the
case,
yeah.
Because she was at her friend's family.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
friend's family asked who
Okay.
those gifts were from.
Oh.
My friend. Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah, you're more cooked than I
that's
thought,
why
brother.
I think she's embarrassed
Yes.
to be dating
Yeah.
a guy who's long distance.
Okay, yeah. So this is very, very, very important.
Yeah, they're like,
I
"It's
need
a
you.
fat dude named Chuck living in his mom's basement." That's what they think, you know.
I need you to listen to this carefully. Your next job is to stop being a fucking bitch and go ahead, cut her off. Because at the end of the day, right? You had these reservations, right? You're thinking, and that may come off as harsh, right? I understand. However, my idea is, she has embarrassed you more than that statement has. You understand? Because she, you've met women probably, right, where you approach them, and before you even open your mouth, they're like, I have a boyfriend. Boyfriend. Yeah, my boyfriend does this for me. My boyfriend does that for me, right? And for her to be like, oh, no, that's just a friend, dude. They don't need to know. Why don't they need to know? What would happen if they knew?
Why doesn't this guy friend
Yeah.
know?
What door?
That's what's most important.
Yes. What door would close if they knew you had a boyfriend?
That 100%.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. Don't let her run the relationship. Like another young couple in this scenario, and it's like, you have plenty of time to find someone else that'll actually campaign for you, that will wear your face on a t-shirt, inject you into her veins, stuff like that, you know? There's no reason for you to accept this kind of treatment, you know?
No reason.
None.
No
Especially because she's trying to get away with it in the now and say like, oh, they don't need to know. It's because, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's like, they wouldn't understand.
This
Yeah.
is a complex situation or whatever it may be. Dude.
Yeah.
The bottom line to this is that if you stay in this relationship, all she's going to do is hurt you down the road.
Yeah.
That's where you're going, bro. You're going to Hurtsville, and it's going to hurt even more. You want to know why? Is because I guarantee you we're not the only two dudes telling you this.
Yeah.
I guarantee your friends are saying the same exact thing. Oh, bro, she getting her back blown out right now. Oh, bro, she, over there with dude right now. And I guarantee you this guy friend has been in her stories on Instagram and posts and pictures. They probably hang out regularly. The fact that she's going to his house over on Christmas.
Yeah.
Bro, she wearing the matching jammies.
Yep.
And having movie nights and s'mores and all that with this nigga. Come on. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already with this guy.
Yeah. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
She's over here just using you for whatever value you give her.
Yeah.
And then that's her real boyfriend.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if that's the situation, because I've seen it tons of times in the course of this show where dudes are sitting there thinking that they're the main boyfriend or they're the guy, and it's like, nah, nigga, you're like number 3. You up in here in the phone, you're Uber Eats. And it's tough to come to this reality. It's tough to think about a girl that you really care about in this light. I understand that. And yes, we are being harsh, but I think it's something where you need a little bit of that tough love, my guy. And I'm being honest with you. I wish that I had some tough love, you know, because sometimes you want to be there for your friends, but you also kind of don't want to like come off as like rude or as a hater and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I get that, but sometimes you just need that tough love, man. You need to just be told, hey, bro, you fucking up and you're cooked.
Yeah.
The relationship's over. It's done. And that's why we're here to kind of just be that mouthpiece of like, hey, man, you cooked. This bitch is like he said, left you on the grill for 5 hours. You burnt to a crisp, my guy, because you're only going to be leading yourself to the end of this relationship. That's just what it comes down to, my guy. It's harsh, but it's the truth. Good luck, though.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. Cause, whew, and don't get into another long distance relationship, nigga. Get into a relationship with a girl that lives in your area.
Yeah,
man.
honestly.
Stop doing this shit. I really don't understand why motherfuckers get in these long distance relationships. They never work. They just never work, bro. All right, let's get on to our next one. Am I overreacting? Don't know where else to post my frustration. All right. Glad you posted it here.
Yes.
Let's see what's up. I am so fucking sick of my girlfriend. She is literally grinding my fucking gears to the point I am starting to hate her. I don't know. I'm a coward because I don't like hurting people, especially people I care about. I do care about her, but I don't want to be with her anymore. I sometimes can be lacking at being a good boyfriend sometimes, I guess, but 80% of the time I'm trying to make sure she's okay and happy. I don't want her to be sad, so I do things that irritate and make me sad to make her happy.
Oh, God.
No. Ooh. All right, the end of November, I went to my sister's birthday party, and she was supposed to go. I was supposed to go. She didn't, and that upset me. So instead of going home to my girlfriend, I stayed at my mom's and basically moved back in with my mom. It was my way of breaking up with her. She won't accept it. She acts like she will die without me, and I feel like I am being smothered. I'm miserable. I'm a coward because I don't want her to be sad and depressed because I leave her. I'm constantly worried and catering to her happiness, and it sucks because she doesn't care if I'm happy or not good. Just writing this is irritating me. Like, why won't she just leave and accept it? Why can't I just break her heart and buy my happiness first? So am I overreacting? Don't know what to do. Bro, you said it yourself. You're a baby back fucking bitch. And it's one of those things where, okay, look, it's funny because I did this live on a live stream one time. There was this kid that wanted to jump in my live stream, right? Because he wanted advice on what he should do. He wanted to break up with his girlfriend, and he was saying something along the lines of, oh, you know, she's like suicidal. She said she's going to kill herself if I leave her and this and that. And I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be an asshole and blah, blah, blah. And what I told the kid is I was like, look, bro, you know, what you need to do is you need to choose your happiness over the entire situation. Break up with her, and, you know, if she is feeling that way of wanting to end her own life and all this kind of stuff, you talk to her friends and you talk to her family and you let them know that this is what she said to you, and be like, hey, she's thinking about doing this. She's saying that. Even if she doesn't do it, I just want you guys to, you know that that's what she said and to look out for her, because I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, and I just don't want to have to deal with this. I want to break up with her, but I don't want her to die at the same time. I still care about her in that way. I still care about her as a human being. And that is just how you deal with that. And you break up with her and you just let it go. Whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be. If she goes through with it and ends her life, well, you did everything that you could to prevent that. You talked to her friends. You talked to her family. You made sure that she was looked out for in the event that this happened. And if it happens, it's not your fault. And I say this a lot of times to women too, because a lot of women will write into the show and they're like, oh, I want to break up with my boyfriend, but he says he's going to end his life and this and that. I tell them the same thing. All right. And so in this situation, it's one of those things where you need to man up, break up with her. And if she sits there talking about, oh, I'm going to end my life and I'm going to do this and that, you talk to her friends, you talk to her family, you make sure that she is looked after, and you move on. She's an adult. She'll figure things out. You know, it's out of your hands at that point. You move on, you let bygones be bygones, you block her on everything, and you let her live her life. She's an adult, she'll figure it out. Wherever she's going to live, whatever she's going to do, you know, how she's going to move on, that's up to her. Okay? If she's not going to accept it, well, too bad. Too fucking bad. You break up with her, you say, look, we're over and we're done with. You put your fucking foot down and you say, hey, man, we're done. It is what it is. You block her on everything and you move on with your life, man. Because there's no way that you're going to just sit here in this shitty situation and just drag yourself through this fucking relationship. For what? For what? You're not getting anything out of it. You're not happy. Like, for what, bro? And if the shoe was on the other foot, bro, nigga, she would have been left you, bro. Let's just be honest.
Yes.
She would have been left you if the shoe was on the other foot. She wasn't happy. She wouldn't be doing things for your happiness. She wouldn't be compromising for your happiness. No, she'd have been like, piece of chicken grease, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Crazy work.
And that's the crazy part. You're like, I don't want to break her heart, whatever, dude. And it's like, you're not doing anything fucking noble by putting your own happiness to the side, bro.
Facts.
You don't care about you're putting your happiness to the side, and so is she. What
Yeah.
the fuck? How is that benefiting you at all?
You don't care about your happiness. She ain't gonna care about your
Yeah,
happiness.
why are you doing that? Why the
Yeah.
fuck? How does that make sense to you? You're like, oh, well, I would feel bad. Okay, that bitch don't give a fuck about your feelings. She don't feel bad when you're giving up your time, your effort, your money, whatever the case may be, to make her happy. That's why she feel like she can't live without you. She has a fucking slave.
Facts.
God damn. She like, fuck, dude, this is great. I don't have to do shit for the man. He doing all this shit for me. I can treat him however, and I get fucking free shit. What? No shit. She's fucking talking about she can't live without you. She has her own personal slave in life at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that in a fucked up manner, bro. It's one of those things where I care about people in general, right? Everyone in general.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where from the outside looking in, right, you're already to the point where you hate her. You try to break up with her. She's not letting it be, right? None of it is on you. You do what you got to do, right? Continue your life as if she don't fucking exist, and eventually she won't. And I don't mean that in the fact that she's going to kill herself, right? I pray that she doesn't, right?
100%.
But that's something you can't control. She feels like she has control over you by using this idolation as keeping you here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's her method of control. Your method of control needs to be you just act like she don't fucking exist, and eventually the problem takes care of itself. You know what I mean? She'll either snap out and be like, all right, well, someone else will be what you were. You know what I mean?
We'll find another bitch boy slave.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
from there, you guys are fine. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the alternative is you waste your fucking time, the most precious commodity we have on this fucking earth, and you 4, 5, 6 years later keep going. You still hate her, and then eventually she leaves you for someone else that she finally feels that is like better than you, and it's like, all right, bro, like. And it's probably going to be someone that's the complete opposite of you anyway. She going to be wasting her time trying to fucking find a man that, trying to cater to a man that don't give a fuck about her. And then you're going to be like, dude, I just wasted all this time trying to keep her happy because I didn't want to break her heart 6 years ago. And then from there, you fucking wasted 6 years or however long because you were like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings. She said this. Brother, it's like the fucking, like I tell my kids, dude, rip it off, rip the Band-Aid off, get the pain out the way, then you can go do whatever you want to do, bro.
Yeah.
Because sitting here crying about the Band-Aid's gonna hurt, the Band-Aid's gonna hurt, the Band-Aid's gonna hurt, bro, you don't think I want to fucking be doing something else? You definitely want to be doing something else, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I want to go like play outside, or I want to go color, and it's like, all right, then let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Grit your teeth and get through it.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. And then from there, you're good. You're fine. You have your whole life ahead of you. You did not waste your time. You had this will be the start of the self-respect that you deserve for yourself. And then any other partner after that will have to match that exact same self-respect that you have for yourself.
Yeah. Dude, and okay, how do I say this? What I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this too, But a lot of dudes will give up their self-respect to be in a relationship with a girl.
Yes.
Do you believe that's true?
Yes. Yeah.
And I see it all the time. I'm like, have some fucking respect for yourself, man. Like, dudes just let their girl talk any old kind of way to them. They let them walk all over them. They let these girls just say and do whatever the fuck they want to do. And it's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yep. Yep.
Like, come on, man. I just don't get it. I'm like, bro, I would never sit there and just tolerate some old bullshit from a girl. Like, why? Why would I do that? Like, that is crazy to me. Just the fact that I'm in your life shows that I am someone of superiority to herself. You want to know why? It's because women aren't looking for equals, man. Women aren't out here talking about, man, I need a man that makes less money or the same as me. No. What do they say? I need a man that makes more than me. All right? I need a man that's taller than me. I need a man that's stronger than me. I need a man that's smarter than me. They say those things. They don't sit here and say, oh, I need a dude who is dumber than me. Oh, I want a guy who is skinny and frail. Oh, I want a guy who is 5 foot. No. They don't say that shit. They want a man who is a superior to them. You're a fucking superior just because you are dating her. She deems you as superior because she decided to date you. Like, and it might not be in all categories, but it may be in the categories that matter the most to her. And the fact that you are out here subverting your authority to this inferior being is crazy to me. Sorry, my misogyny is showing, but it's the fucking truth. It's the truth. Women aren't sitting there saying, oh, I wish I had a short man. Oh, I wish I had a guy who makes $30,000 a year. Oh my God, I wish I had a man who is skinny and frail. No, they're just not. And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Like,
any woman that says they would like the whole 50-50 relationship
cap.
is lying. They
Stop
have their
the
own
cap.
they have their own agenda with that idea of like, oh yeah, 50-50, we split the bills, but you do all the heavy lifting, you do all the blue collar work around the house. You're the one setting the schedule, the nature of the relationship, or they're gonna fucking leave you, right? Ask any woman if they want to explain to a man 5 times over the same concept over and over again, or if they want to pick the restaurant every time they go on a date, or if they want to fucking there's plenty of examples I could give. They're just like not coming to me right at this exact moment. But like you said, brother, it's just one of those things where they say they don't care until it's time for them to be in that situation and care. And for you got to understand that there's no fucking reason to put up with someone that looks at you that way as like a boy toy, slave, bitch boy, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Especially when you have the more to offer.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, we're going to get into our last scenario for today's episode. If you guys gotten this far in the episode, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. We love you. Again, patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday, like these lovely people did for today. All right, without further ado, let's get into the last one. We had an affair, and now I'm in love with my best friend, but he says he just wants to be friends. What do I do? Oh, this girl's cooked. All right, I, 34 female, had an affair with my best friend, 52 male. Damn. We have been friends for 15 years, and before anything happened, we were just really good friends. At the start of the year, we all went on a group holiday together. After that, we just ended up spending so much time together, I think that's when the line started to blur. And things started to change between us. He's married, and I'm also friends with his wife. She found out about the affair, and after a lot of heartbreak, has forgiven me, but she's still going ahead with the divorce. I know it's messy, and I feel terrible about it. I was pregnant, and I lost the baby in a miscarriage. It's something that I'm still processing. I should still be pregnant with his baby right now, and that's been a huge emotional weight I've been carrying. He makes me feel safe, comfortable, and when I'm with him, nothing else matters. But he keeps changing his mind about everything. He's gone from not wanting to see me to saying he doesn't want me to be involved he doesn't want to be involved romantically, to doing things with me and then apologizing, saying it can't happen. To then saying he just wants to fool around and stay friends. because that's what he really wants to do. He just don't want to make you feel like a hoe. Let's just be honest. He apologizes after we're intimate, telling me he got carried away, and it feels like he's taking it all back. Like it didn't matter. I've never really felt love before, but when I'm with him, he makes me feel loved. Until then, or until he takes it away. So it's confusing because one moment I feel like I matter, then the next it's just I am just being kept around until something better else comes along. At the start, I tried to fight my feelings for him because I knew it was complicated, but then he told me that he loved me. And I couldn't deny how he made me feel. The problem is he took it back. He said he only said that because he was drunk and that he didn't really mean it. It made me feel like everything he said before didn't matter. I'm in love with him and I can't stop thinking about him. He's all I want, but he keeps pushing me away. We've shared our insecurities and he's really my best friend. I've never been in a relationship before, and I've struggled with confidence and body image issues. I've been overweight my whole life, and I've heard comments from a family member saying no one would ever want me. When I'm with him, I feel loved and important, but the constant back and forth is tearing me up. Everyone around me says that he's using me and taking advantage of my feelings for him. But I just can't believe that I want to trust him, and I feel like he does care about me, even if it's complicated. The problem is he keeps changing his mind every time he does. It gives me false hope that maybe something will change in his mind about loving me too. I feel stuck in this loop, hoping for something that may never come, but not being able to let it go. I'm terrified of losing him completely, even just as a friend. I don't know how to deal with these feelings, and I don't want to keep hurting both of us. I can't stop falling deeper for him, but I don't know how to move forward without getting hurt or even more. Any advice on what I should do?
Rip the Band-Aid. Rip the fucking Band-Aid. Like we talked about it before with the previous gentleman. You had the affair. His wife decided not to stay. She had the respect of like, hey, look, no matter how long we had, whatever kind of history we had, I loved you at one point, but peace and chicken grease. Now, same goes for you, right? He said that he loved you, right, when he was drunk, I guess, and then he wanted to take it all back. I would say any man that's doing that is probably being pretty honest, you know what I mean? He was drunk, he felt some type of way, and then from there, he's like, actually, you know what, that was probably a mistake. Believe him, you know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from, and like this is like a thing I wanted to be clear, where especially with all the other men advice that we've been giving, I've been guilty of a lot of what we've been seeing as well. So like, I come from a place of like, not from like, oh, I've never done something like this or I've never had a situation like this happen to me in my life. It comes from the now afterthought knowledge of like, damn, I shouldn't have been that way. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have allowed this to happen. I shouldn't have allowed so much to happen to me, where like, you know, I've been in the place of like not having the best self-esteem for myself, feeling like what other people did defined my happiness, defined whether or not I felt loved. And then only recently did I start coming across the idea of like, the only way you really feel loved is if you are able to prove it to yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. No one else proves it to you. And so you got to prove it to yourself that you are loved, you are worth having a good relationship with. It's not with him. He's playing games with you. All the other people in life are telling you the absolute spot on truth of like, he's just trying to keep you around. You know what I mean? Otherwise he would have, it's one of those things where like I don't really like to use the if he wanted to he would, but in this case I do feel like if he wanted to he would have wifed you up. He would have been like, yeah dude, like actually like I'm gonna get this wife out of here and I do love you. You know what I mean? Like that's if it's clear in someone's mind, it's not a hard decision. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like no one's gonna tell me like, oh, you know what dude, like if you want to see your daughters ever again, dude, you got to like drive to Mexico. or like whatever the case may be. Like that was a bad example, but the case in point is no one's going to tell me to do something and I wouldn't do it for my daughters, right? It's a very clear indication. It's a very clear idea that I already have in my head. And it's the same thing with him, where it's like he doesn't have the clear thought in his head because it's not there. You know what I mean? So you got to just think to yourself of like, this is not the end all be all. You got to really reinforce that, drive it home, work on yourself. It sounds like you have some self-work to do, because at the end of the day, you're like, I can't do things without him. I can't see myself losing him, stuff like that, even as a friend. But it's like, people are people. There's 7 billion people in the world, and there's approximately like however many people in his city that are just like him, you know what I mean, in your guys' area that are just like you know what I mean, because you guys are in a community that is pretty like-minded is what I would say, you know what I mean. That's just how communities work. And so for you, I would just say you be the one that cut it off. At the end of the day, like I said, rip the Band-Aid off. It's gonna fucking hurt. You said you wanted to move forward without getting hurt. That's not possible at this point. But the pain is important. The pain tells you exactly what's important to you and what it is moving forward you can do to protect that, you know? And so that's why when you're feeling these emotional wounds, you got to just really understand what it is they're trying to tell you and then move from there.
Yeah. Hey, man, that was pretty big of you to kind of, admit, as far as like, because my thing is, and I've told, my viewership and stuff like that, they already know me very well as far as I'm an open book with them.
Right.
And, for you to kind of like open up about that. And I look at it like, the reason, me personally, I'm able to give advice on these situations is because I've gone through them.
Yeah.
I'm no stranger to fucking up. I've done things that are considered cheating. I've done things that are considered shady and this and that. Like I've made these mistakes before, and it's why I can give advice on them now. And it's why you can give advice on them now, because you've done them yourself. You've been in that hot seat before. You learned from it, and you learned in a way that helped you get further. But my advice to you, I think I'm going to go a different way than he did. I'm going to go at the way of, like, I agree with his end game of, you need to rip the Band-Aid off and you need to leave. But as far as the why, I'm going to be completely different than him. Man is manipulating you, and he's pretty much saying what he needs to say to keep you along. Now, it's a thing where what he's doing is he's like soft manipulating you and making you feel like no one will love you better than I will. Nobody will care about you like I do. Nobody will be there for you like I do. And you're kind of eating that up because it's what you want to hear from him. But then he kind of takes it back and uses excuses on why it is that he can't do those things, or why he can't commit or be any more than that. And he does this because he knows that he has you wrapped around his finger. He knows you ain't going anywhere. He's like, oh, this bitch ain't going anywhere. I could say anything I want. I could say the fucking sky is green, and she's just like, yes, it is. It's green. And so you need to be able to have your own independent thought and understand that this guy is manipulating me in ways that don't seem like they're harmful, but they really are. Because the fact that he sat there and said, I love you, he don't mean that shit. You want to know why he don't mean that shit? Because he just got done humping you. A dude who's going to sit there and have sex with you and then bust a nut and be like, oh, shit. Yeah, I was just messing around, we kind of went too far. That should have told you right then and there. Like if a dude actually cares about you, the post-nut clarity will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
He was speaking from utmost clarity at that point. If he is speaking like that about you in utmost clarity, then he's only saying what he needs to say so he can fuck you. He's only saying what he needs to say to keep you wrapped around his finger. He's only saying what he needs to say so that way you're in this fucked up, manipulated mindset of, I need him. He's everything. There's nobody else. And then what you do is you let other people's perception of you, like your family saying, oh, nobody's going to love you. Oh, you're a fat girl. Nobody wants to be with you. You let that confirm his manipulation, and then it further sinks in. And so that is the reason why this is a dire relationship that you need to get out of, because you can completely lose yourself.
Yes.
Like, baby girl, you're 35. He's 52. Let that old nigga date somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Find a dude who actually wants to be with you for you and actually wants to build a relationship, because this nigga don't want to build a relationship. Like he said, you know, he doesn't really care about the relationship aspect of it, because if he did, he would have been like, oh, you know, fuck my wife, I'm moving you in.
Yeah.
He would have been done that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't do that, and that's where a lot of girls who, you know, date married men, they sit there and they think like, oh yeah, he's going to leave his wife for me. Never happens. Ever. Like, you're allowing yourself to be manipulated, and then you sit there and you're like, oh, men are so manipulative. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because you fucking let him. You know what I mean? Now, look, this one guy, don't let this one guy be your perception of other men. Don't do that either, okay? Don't let this one guy be your perception of other men, because not all guys are going to be like that. Are you going to meet some other guys that might be a little manipulative like this? Sure, you might. But majority of these guys are not going to be. Majority of guys, they're going to actually be messing with you because they actually want something of a relationship or a commitment with you. But, you know, again, that's up to your judgment and discretion when you meet these guys. But always meet every guy on the level of he's a good guy, and let him prove to you whether he's a good guy or he's not.
Yes.
You know, let that be that. But yeah, man, I think you should get out of this relationship.
Yeah. Definitely.
Crazy that you are just allowing yourself to be just brainwashed with that crap. But I don't know if you want to add any more to that.
I mean, yeah, you hit it right on the head. Definitely, like you said, you're young. Let that old man just fucking squander his life away with someone else. You know what I mean? He had a wife. He fucked it up. He's not serious about you. Definitely just get to a better place. Also, don't listen to your fucking family that's talking to you like that. Any family members that say like, yeah, no one will ever fucking love you, whatever, that comes again from, like I said earlier, a place of jealousy, where they're jealous of something that you have to offer, and they don't want you to be uplifted. You know what I mean? They're upset that for some reason you have a quality that they don't see in themselves, and so they try to put you down in order to feel better about it.
Yeah. All right. You guys let me know what you think about that scenario, as well as everything we've gone over today. The scenarios in the thread, all that good stuff. Definitely leave a comment, all that good things. Again, you know, thank you guys for so much support over the last year. This episode will probably be out in 2026. So again, I appreciate all the support you guys have showed last year. Our boy Michael is going to be here on more episodes. Then we're going to try to make this the Sunday episode for you guys. And we might go back to weekly Sunday episodes if he and I continue to keep doing this every Sunday. We'll do weekly Sunday episodes instead of every other week. And then, yeah, I don't know. Anything else that you want to close out with?
No, I mean, I really enjoy the opportunity to be here. You know, I enjoy being able to share in the same space as you. You know, we have our history, and so that's why, like, it's great to be on here with you and helping out the viewers that you help out, you know, constantly. And so I definitely do plan to stick around for a while and you know, help as many people as I can. Just enjoy the podcast, enjoy, you know, spending more time with yourself and, you know, the people in the space. And I hope a lot of the people that do come in and start like sending in like scenarios and stuff like that do find some benefit from me being here. You know, that's my main goal, honestly, is to just provide some type of benefit for the people that are watching, listening, whatever the case may be. So
and I'm just here to entertain you niggas. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's gonna be today's episode. Love you guys all. I'll see you on Tuesday for another crazy episode, and yeah, that'll be it. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace.